Cool, man. So I gotta ask you my first wealth beyond money question for Filipino healing superstar Ellie Avancy. My first question is, just thinking about the avatar image that I created to commemorate the work that we did together, and you recently shared with me that it's still on your phone, and so I'm curious, like when you look at that image now, what feels the same and what feels different about the woman you've become between then and now?
It's a great question. I'm actually looking at it right now on my phone. Um, yeah, what feels the same is that like that drive, that fire within that's just like, even consciously, like I'm thinking about it, right? It's just like it's there, it's still there. It's like that feeling of excitement, right? That
Mm-hmm.
sometimes comes with, what we call nervousness or whatever, because they're all the same, that. Yeah, it's just like that's what it's there. Like I just know it's there. It's meant to be there, and therefore I'm gonna go for it. And what doesn't feel the same is that old version of me. Right? It's there's an old version of me that got me here. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? Like I'm giving thanks to that old version of me that kept fighting, that kept going, that never gave up, that still kept going regardless of all those negative thoughts, all those 'cause honestly, I didn't really have people put me down. Like I never, it was not part of my conscious awareness to run into people who said, "Oh, you can't do it" or whatnot. It wasn't. It was between. It was me versus me,
Mm-hmm.
that like all the time. It was always been me versus me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall ever having run into people that said you can't do it, like you suck or anything like that. So it was like going back, it's just like wow, I'm so grateful that it was just really me against me. No one else was involved. So I was like, it was just
Mm-hmm.
me. Like there was no other third party or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then being able to recognize that it's such a gift because it shows like I hold the power within, right? It's just like I just forgot in those
Right.
moments that past. And I mean, yeah, there
Yeah.
are still times that it happens now, but it's like I'm more aware of that now. And yes, I get to a point where it's like I just want to chill. I'm so exhausted. I just want to like
Mm-hmm.
not think, or I just want to lay down and
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy myself, just enjoy this present moment and just like, be grateful. And, like
Yeah.
I have those moments because I do get to a point of I'm tired, right? It's like, okay, what's
Mm-hmm.
next? But there, it's still there. That same fire is still there. It's still burning. It's still burning.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's, to me, it was, just being grateful that you trusted me to be able to help you in the way that we work together. And so, like when I created that avatar image, it was the way I saw you through that transformation. Like this is who she is now. All the elements balanced, Pono. And to me, just hope that it will be a reminder for you about who the fuck you are. Like don't forget that shit. Remember, the ancient wines had no I see that. The ancient wines had no written language. And remember,
Yeah.
the proper name for God
Kane.
is Kane or
El-
Eli.
Elliot. Yeah.
Eli, because you're the Kane in your universe. And
Yeah.
the thing is, like, a lot of times, especially working with women, it's like, yeah, but it's a man's world. I'm like, no, no. We're not talking about man and woman. We're talking about masculine, feminine energy. And each one of us have a dad. So even if you're a girl, you still got Kane in there. You just
Yeah.
got to tap into that, take control of that leash, and listen. I'm in control of the Ellie Avancy experience. I'm in control. You know what I mean? And that was just my way of making sure that you had a visual anchor of you, not me. I'm not the boss. I want to make
Yeah.
sure that you knew, no, that's you, not me. You know what I mean? And that's the way, I saw it. And so, like just thinking back to, you know, how things are, when we were back in the personal development bubble in the ballroom and, people always like, going to the next training, you going to this, you going to Huna. And, you know, I felt like, when we first connected, in Carlsbad, it's 2022. It felt like you were looking for more integration than like more information. It's like, no, I got a lot of information.
Talk
So
about integration. Yeah. Keep
it's
going.
about integration. So talk to me about how you understand that word integration now after everything you've experienced.
I love that you're bringing it up because that's one of the things that's like the main thing that while I was working on the business plan, I was like editing the business plan for what I'm doing here, right? And that's what's different about mine is there's integration. There's like an encouragement for integration. It's not just like, hey, come release your shit, come release your baggage, Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta integrate. Like there's that after support where it's like, and we talk about integration. It's not just like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, come here and let me take your money. All right, dump your shit here, dump your trash here, and then you can go. Like, no, I want to talk about integration because that's where the gold is. That's where it's at. That's where like you want healing, integrate. You want
Mm-hmm.
you want to heal. How are you acting? How are you living life after all that information, after all that release work, after all those trainings, right? Because
Right.
that's I personally, I guess from my experience from all the trainings that I've done, that's what was missing, the integration piece. Like I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, like I mean, it's not just me, and I've heard stories where it's like, yeah, I think I need to go back and do release work. And it just keep going back to like, I think I need to do another breakthrough session, another breakthrough
Mm-hmm.
session. It's like, I was like, you just had your breakthrough session, right? And then I was like, wait, it's the freaking integration that's missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was missing. It's like, how are you reacting to things? How are you living life now before and after, the breakthrough session? It's a matter of
Right.
like, what are you gonna choose to do? Or what are you gonna choose to become? Because we're always
Right.
becoming, right? We never
Right.
really reach a a destination, like one of my friends said there's no pinnacle. Like people think there's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go join this thing and I'm gonna do release work and everything's gonna be perfect. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because they're looking for something, right? They're looking for that boom that's gonna make them feel better, but it's like it's already here. It's like just integrate, just yeah, it's just it breaks my heart to see a lot of like people thinking that like, oh, once I get this, I'll be happy. That
Mm-hmm.
thing, it's like you just gotta integrate everything, like the things that you learned and integrate into your daily life, and you realize and see that you don't have to wait. It's here, right? It's just
Yeah.
like you don't have to wait for that, like, oh, to feel happy or to feel yes, it's so easy to say, and at the same time, it's just like some people, it's hard for them to like to comprehend it. It's hard for them to understand it because yes, I get it. They're still in their shit. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's my point when it comes to the whole thing I'm doing here, the workshops I'm doing here. It's like, okay, you're gonna do release work, and after that, let's talk about integration. That because by the time you release, I do trust and know that you'll be able to be more open and listen to what I'm talking about, to what integration really is, so you can continue on with your what we call the healing journey or whatever label you want to put it. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Integration, man. It's the key.
It is. It's like, once you let go of stuff, even what you're describing, where people will do release work, which is, a big part of what we do in our work and what we've learned through, the school that we came from. It's just that people are expecting the training to solve their problem, or they're expecting the teacher or their coach or somebody else to solve their problem, or that thing that they need to come to them. Once that thing comes to me, then my problem will be gone. But once they're awake, what happens is you start to just understand when things come up, like we learned, how the ancient Hawaiians celebrate when their baggage comes up, right? Because they recognize that this is what so in the context of what you said, like if I did a breakthrough session and I got some stuff coming up, that means that the breakthrough session worked to give room for this to come up. It's actually a sign that it's working. And so when you get into integration, I think when you integrate those things, when you realize that, oh, I did release work. I felt better, and now I don't. I feel off again. Instead of saying, "Oh, that didn't work. I need to do it again, or I need something else." It's like, no. What if that's a sign that what you did worked?
Yeah.
Like, what if, and it's about controlling that narrative, man. As long as we control that narrative, then everything's good. Everything's good. And speaking, just thinking about integration, because I'm very interested in your wealth beyond money here. So, just think back about leadership and just taking control of your business. You got a vision. You're doing things. You've carried leadership in a lot of different forms, in the military, in motherhood, spiritual work. So the person I'm looking at now, it looks like you're integrating all of that, all of those experiences. So I'm curious for you, what changed when those things stopped feeling separate and started feeling like one coherent authority, like Ellie, just aligned.
Yeah, I feel like, the more we cause separation, the things, things get worse. It's just like, oh, I'm only this here, it's just like, yeah, like separation is just like, I don't want to say like enemy or whatever, but it's what causes the problems. Right? It's
Right.
just like, oh shit, why are we even separating things? So yeah, like me as Ellie, right? Ellie, I'm Ellie. I was Ellie yesterday. I'm still Ellie. You met me in 2022. That's Ellie. That's a version of Ellie that you met, and
Right.
now it's a different version of Ellie, but that's still Ellie, right? She was able to go through the journey and integrate what she had to integrate whenever she realized was time, right? That it was time to
Hmm.
immigrate. There were times that she forgot, like she as in me.
Right.
So
Right.
all that stuff. So yeah, playing these roles. I mean, at this point, I don't really feel the separation or of any of these roles, right? It's just like it's just me. It's just like
Right.
I wake up and I'm just like, right now, what's alive in my heart is like this project, right? This
Right.
Heal Philippines project, and yeah, that's what's alive in my heart. Like before I go to sleep, it's all I think about. It's like okay, like what's on the radar, what's next, kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, in the way that's healthy, of course. And um let's see, it's like now even just like thinking about the vision, and it's just like wow, like the many people that get to come my way, and I get to co-create with them, work with them, and just brainstorm and just like, hey, how can we make this place this a better place for people to come in? And like I said, that land is like for retreats, it's a homestead, it's a farm, it's like everything, it's like a home, it's the
Mhm.
home that I've been, I guess, building all these years, right?
Right.
I have a little story for you. So when I was in because I did high school here in the Philippines, and
Right.
on the yearbook they have you write your address.
Mhm.
And what my I was 17 years old, right?
Mhm.
What my 17-year-old version wrote was no permanent address. And
Hmm.
I was like, oh, and then I was like, wait, and then as I look back, like I was doing all this, I was like, gosh, like, and I was like, oh shit, it's like it manifested in its own way, right? It's like
Yup.
moved around a lot, bought a house, sold it, all that stuff. So I was just like, holy shit, like that
Right.
I wrote it, and it like that kid, anyways, yeah,
Mhm.
that's what happened. So
Yeah.
anyways, like this land is my permanent home. It's
Right.
what I believe.
I mean that's the thing. It's like a coach I had. He's from Hawaii. I love this guy, and he's always talking about his uncle and what his uncle used to say in the native Hawaiian language. Aohe pauko ike ko halal. Not all wisdom is taught in your school. Or sometimes people will translate it, not all wisdom is taught in one school or your school. But what I'm seeing is like you got different learnings from your experience in the military. You got different learnings from your experience as a mother. You got different learnings from your experience in all these trainings in the spiritual and the healing work. And it's the integration of all of those that brought you back to yourself. And then even talking about the yearbook thing, it's words are magic. That's why they call it spelling. So the minute you said that, and the thing is, at 17 years old, I meant it. I
Right.
congruently meant that shit when I said it. So we don't always realize the power of our words, whether we say them out loud or not. But here's where it really gets out there. And the crazy thing, again, it's just recognizing all the connections, is all the work you've done, all these experiences. Remember when you was talking about, you were in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
In the Navy, okay. But you lived in Las Vegas and Arizona in the desert.
Yeah.
But where you from is water. It's water world,
Yeah.
Philippines, right?
Yeah.
And so when they asked you where's your permanent home, you said no permanent address, and then you ended up going to all these foreign lands.
Crazy.
You see what I'm saying? But here, okay, that would be a crazy story. But here's the beauty of it, because look at the chapter we're in now. How you integrated everything, and it naturally brought you back home.
Yeah.
It's
That's
crazy,
nice.
right? It's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
And see, this is the person I made that avatar of. That's how powerful. I could see that.
Yeah.
I saw that. And so it's like, now and that to me is the biggest thing. And so, like, even with the Heal Peanuts, the work you're doing now, I mean, you brought your work home back to your people, to the Philippines. So, just again going back to when you felt that urge, let's just explore, like, when did you know it was time to return home to yourself rather than continuing to search in no permanent address?
I didn't have to think about that. I think it was like, again, like the unconscious mind, right? It was just like, it's the nudge. It's the nudge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the planting the seeds. That's how it felt like. It was like, it came up. I don't even know when it came up, but it came up, and then I was like, oh, that idea came up. It was like an idea, right? It was a seed that was planted in my
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, and then it just kind of built from there. And
Right.
then like that drive of wanting to help people in a way. It's like, because I knew back when I was a kid, I knew I was meant to help people. I just didn't realize how. I just didn't know how. And how it's showing up right now is it's what I'm doing. And I know there's gonna be more to that. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
shift. I'm still young, I still got years to live.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it was just like, it's a buildup over the years that, okay, hey, like when I was a kid, it was like just kind of shown to me somehow that, hey, so you're going to be helping people. And then
Mm-hmm.
like early, like post COVID, like another thought was like, yeah, it's time to start doing this. Like I was inspired by what, the school that we went to, right? All that, like by
Mm-hmm.
what they do. And I'm like, okay, this is good, right? And then now just kind
Mm-hmm.
of build from there and there and there. And then boom, I think I should go home to the Philippines, right? It's just like,
Right.
and it's crazy because like, back then, like my thoughts around money, and it's like, oh, I was worried and things like that. But it felt so pono. It was just like, everything's gonna be fine. And like
Mm-hmm.
I look back and I was like, the universe always provides. Like, how did I go through all those those personal growth events, right? Like those were like, they're big investments, but I
Yeah.
made it. That's why I was like, why should I,
Yeah.
it's just really that the limiting belief was just holding me back. It was just getting in the way. So that's why it's like, okay, clear the limiting belief, and then just trust my gut, this one. So I went for it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was something special. It was something special. And, really continuing to do the work and taking the responsibility. And again, like I said earlier, sometimes it does feel tiring, and that's me being human, me feeling the emotions and just like all the overwhelm of everything. But I don't run
Mm-hmm.
away from like talking about the shadow, like as much as possible, like I want to face my shadows. And there are times I do feel exhausted, so I was like, just give me a second to breathe.
Right.
Like I'll deal with you tomorrow, but don't leave. Like I'll be here. Like that's what I do. Like I really, integrating the shadows and knowing
Mhm.
that I'm I went through shit. I went through challenges, and I want to integrate those parts of me, and also the inner child wounds that come up. Like I like all of a sudden all I find myself crying in the middle of nowhere. I'm just like, why am I crying? It's like, okay,
Right.
I'm just processing things. I'm just like, why am I? I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to like the unconscious mind. It's like, what's
Mhm.
this? What's the lesson here? What's this? So.
Yeah.
um,
Crying though, it's funny because I remember I was working with a client, and the work we do can get emotional, and she was crying, crying. She's been crying for like an hour, and at one point she just stopped and she was like, "I don't know why I'm crying like this, but what's really weird is, you know, I cry like this at weddings, and I cry like this at funerals. So it doesn't matter if I'm happy or sad. It's like I'm always crying. So crying's not good or bad. It's just truth."
ah,
And I was like, whoa, I need to
yeah,
write that down.
yeah.
you
Ah,
know, to me, it's like you're in touch with yourself
yeah.
when you're recognizing the emotions and not reacting based on the emotions. That is awareness. That's being awake. And to continue to know, have that faith that just keep going. I'm good. I need a second to rest, but I'm good. And that knowing, it's all signs of the integration. It's all signs of integration, and again, having to push through. When you're as a mother, you had to push through. Obviously, when you're in military environment, you're gonna have to push through sometimes. And so,
Yeah,
but
sure. Yeah.
so all the wisdom from those experiences are all integrated now. It's just how you operate, you know. And so it's like, when you look at the rooms that you're holding now, the people laying down, surrendering, trusting the space that you've created for them, you know, what would you say, you know, what did you have to become internally to be able to hold that kind of container where people are able to just surrender and trust the space that you've cultivated for them?
Yeah. Yeah. So for that, it was like really, like you said, all those things that, like in the military, being a mother, being all that, just like kind of integrating. And, even the things that we've learned, from Hawaii, just being in the state of aloha, things like that.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that question though. Like it's like holding the space for people. For me, like the space that I hold is sacred, right? It's sacred.
Mm-hmm.
So, about the gritting and all that stuff. It's so important to do. And, just it's really just activating that God within, that
Got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like that it's because just connecting up, it's easy, right? At this point, it's easy. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, use me, use this body. Like I'm just, but
Yeah.
it's just activating the God within. It's what's happening, just surrendering to the flow and still being aware, right? Because you still have go
Mm-hmm.
and hakala, and because you're still holding the space, you still have to be consciously aware and not just like, oh, you're allowing the universe to flow through you, meaning the
Mm-hmm.
God within to just awaken. Well, it was never asleep, so that's not the right term, but it's what I mean. It's like
Right.
activating
Yeah.
that part. It's like, all right, it's the space, Abaikus, my guides, let's do this, hold the space, boom, right? And do,
Right.
do do what we have to do and hold the space and just pay attention to the energy. And yeah, like whoever's there to cry, hold space for them, the people that go in
Right.
there and start crying out loud, or they're just silently crying, they're silently shaking. I know that they're
Mm-hmm.
doing their sort that, I'm holding the space for them, and that
Mm-hmm.
they're supported and protected in that moment, and that they can be them. They can just like, they don't have to worry about people judging them. If those thoughts come up, it's just like, no, this is your space, man. Just let go, let go.
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like this is Ellie's path. This is Ellie's containers. The space that Ellie's meant, the healing that Ellie's meant to facilitate. And when you talk about tapping into that God part of you, again, I'm such a NLP language nerd, so you realize when you say tap into the God in you, that Kane is the word for the creator in Hawaiian. So you're tapping into your Kane, your masculine. And that's what I'm hearing is like you've integrated, you know, the woman, Ellie, that's your, expression outward, but you've mastered the God within the Kane or masculine part. That's integration. You know what I mean? It's funny how everything keeps coming back to that. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, just get balancing those elements, man. Balancing those elements and really taking control and being present on the path, recognizing when the unconscious mind that you're now your inner voice is giving you that nudge and getting right with yourself so that you're not fighting against your intuition, you're not fighting against your inner knowing, you know
Yeah.
and I imagine a lot of people that come into those spaces who have been carrying stuff that they need to let go, and thank God that Ellie came home and provided this space for people.
Oh yeah.
And it's like we all need that. And the work you're doing is, I told you, man, I said a lot of people. Manila's one of the most populated cities on this planet. There's a lot of people in the Philippines, man, and I know that you had something that they needed at home, and that's beautiful. It's just beautiful to see. So if you zoom out and look at your life now, the last question is: zoom out, look at your life now. What does wealth mean to you? Beyond money, beyond success, beyond titles. What would you say your definition of wealth is?
Hmm. I'd say like the first word that comes to me is support, and that means okay, so that means like you know how people get blocks, right? They block off their wealth. Or, this is the best way for me to explain it. It's like they block off their wealth, right? So why do we block? How
Mhm.
do we block it? Why do we block it, right? It's because like the baggage. It's because like in the mental and emotional body, there's stuckness. So like spirit can get manifested into physical manifestation because there's blockage in the mental and emotional bodies, right?
Right.
So that's why we don't get blocked. That's why we don't get what we want because we're blocked, right? Let's see, yeah,
Right.
understanding that way, right? So,
Right.
so wealth to me, and again, support is the word that comes in. What that means to me is when you're more connected to to the universe, meaning to yourself, you love yourself more, all that stuff that we've been longing for, that we've been looking for. When it's there, wealth is there, right? Because then there's no blockage. Because like really it's just the blockage that's
Right.
causing us not to experience what we want to experience, like let's say money or whatever, right?
Okay.
Okay, like let's just say, oh, I want to find the love of my life, but the love of your life is there, but you can't see it because the blockage in the mental and emotional body, right? Oh,
Mhm.
I want to manifest this, but it's already there. It's just there's this blockage in the mental and emotional body, right? It's really like that all around. Whatever you want to manifest,
Mhm.
whatever you want to bring in, it's already there. It's just blocked. So what I'm saying is like
Right.
if you remove those blocks, if you work on those blocks, then you get to experience wealth more. You get to experience
Right.
wealth in a way that you want it to, or the best way you can, because the universe knows, right? Instead of
Mhm.
complaining like, oh no, I don't deserve this, and all that stuff, then
Mhm.
that you're attracting more blockage. So with that being said, support would be not having those. So, and at the same time, it's also the journey of life of like recognizing am I being blocked right now? How am I being blocked right now? Okay, what am I gonna do about it? Because I already have the tools that I need, right? Am I gonna sit here and say, oh, you know, the universe hates me right now, or am I just gonna, am I gonna be the universe and say, you know what, I'm gonna go there and just do what I need to do to experience the life that I want to experience. And then sometimes it happens with time, right?
Yeah.
What do I say? I tell people, you know how people say it's a matter of time. They're just like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a matter of time. But what I really say is a matter of alignment, right? Because you're just
Mm.
aligning to the frequencies that you're vibrating with, the frequencies that you 'cause right here is a frequency of that thing that you want, but like you're kind of right here. So you want to align with that. So it's alignment. It's not like we define it as time, but it's not time. It's you. You're not,
Right.
we're like waiting for something to happen, but the truth is you're waiting for you. You're not waiting for someone else to give you a plate. It's like you're the one that you're waiting for. Like me, like with the whole thing that I told you about, like, yeah, this whole um this whole job thing. I was like, I'm the one that I'm waiting for. Like once I let go of this, it's just gonna clear out. Because that's my block. That's the and then
Yeah.
mental and emotional. That's my block.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
recognize that.
Yeah. A big thing too is like when you talk about support, the word support, and what you described, just to reflect it back, is reconnecting to your higher self, to your spirit, and reconnecting with yourself. And a lot of times people might look at support as like relationships in their environment, but think about it like this: because you've integrated your pono and you're aligned with yourself, that's what led you back home to connect with the people that you're serving right now. And again, if these people aren't getting healing, then you don't have a business. So even the people who need your help are actually supporting. It's
Crazy.
crazy, right? It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean that's it. That's what I mean by wealth beyond money.